Jurassic World Rebirth marketing has officially been fired up. Hey residents, this is Jacob. With the trailer out now, how are you feeling about Jurassic World Rebirth? And if you're one of those people who've been shedding yourself off from this franchise in recent years, or if you found yourself losing that special warm feeling for dinosaurs in general, you have to hear this. We got a ton of bonus information about Rebirth coming in from an article from Vanity Fair, and if the trailer didn't win you over, this just might. Let's get to it. Quickly removing any question when it comes to bringing these ancient animals back to life through CGI. Producer Frank Marshall says this: "I've always said that visual effects are great. CGI is a great tool, but it makes you lazy because you can do anything. It's got to be dangerous. You're in a new place. You don't know what's around the corner. You got a different jungle. You've got more water. You've got higher cliffs. There's a little bit of everything that's scary. A new world, a new place that can sometimes be scary to explore through the eyes of our characters." A lot of you might not know that I'm a pretty die-hard outdoorsy sort of guy, and getting to see different, extreme, and wild climates is something I kinda crave. I like to see things I haven't seen before. Let's get to where he talks about the dinosaurs now. These are the dinosaurs that didn't work. There's some mutations in there. They're all based on real dinosaur research, but they look a little different. And in the trailer, we saw how the dinosaurs, at least some of them, do look more like their real-world counterpart, much more in line with how modern paleontology depicts them. I love seeing these dinosaurs feel like animals and look like animals again in the wild. I saw some moose last year, and it looked a lot like this. So chomp that subscribe button if you're ready to see the dinosaurs go back to their franchise roots. Frank then went on to give praise to writer David Coep. He came up with this idea that dinosaurs were passé now, which is a way of saying that they were outdated. People were tired of them. They were an inconvenience. People weren't going to museums to see them or to petting zoos. They were just in the way. And the climate was not conducive to their survival, so they were starting to pass away and get sick. But there was one area around the equator that had the perfect climate and temperature and environment for them. This seems like a great topic to bring up in this movie. It does kind of feel similar to how the fan base has acted towards this franchise lately. And it does, at least right now, seem like Jurassic World Rebirth is really trying to fix this. A lot of you watching, especially if you were born around the time of the first movie like me, you might remember how much you loved these movies as a kid, but don't you lie to me, there were at least 2 scenes in Jurassic Park that you had to mute or skip unless you wanted to have a meltdown. And according to director Gareth Edwards, Rebirth is aiming to bring those feelings of horror back to the franchise. He doesn't really specifically say, yeah, this is a horror film. But it's clear that he knows exactly what he wanted, and it was to make a movie that was scary as hell, much like the first movies in the series. He wants us to have that weird primal feeling going on like we're being hunted as we watch this movie. He says Jurassic Park is a horror film in the witness protection program. Most people don't think of it like that. We all went to see it as kids, but I was scared shitless, to be honest, when I was at the cinema watching the T-Rex attack. It's one of the most well-directed scenes in cinema history, so the bar is really high to come on board and try to do this. There's something very primal that's buried deep inside everybody. As mammals, we evolved with this fear of the bigger animal that's going to come one day and maybe kill us or our family. The second we see it happening on screen, you're like, I knew it, we had it too good for far too long. And that's a huge win for Jurassic fans if this is actually how the movie ends up. In this article, we also learned that the cure that the team is trying to find the DNA to make is for heart disease, which the more you know. And to do this, they need to go to this new land, which is also described as the place these dinosaurs were made, but it's also new to the franchise. So it looks like we might visit another one of the mysterious islands of Jurassic lore here. Tell me what you think in the comments. The article also gave some good information on the 3 lead characters, Zora, Henry, and Duncan, and something that I got a little chuckle out of. They're all characters that have been described as doing their best to be likable to the fans, which is funny, but honestly makes a lot of sense right now. Scarlett is a super fan of these movies and has dreamed of working in the series, and her character is said to be more than a gun for hire. And she hopes the audience learns to understand her character's deep, driven attitude. Loomis will be the nature-loving science guy who loves the natural world so much that it's his superpower and his weakness. He's not field-trained and he doesn't have the stomach for violence. but his knowledge of the animals is vital to this mission. And Duncan, he's the guy who's seen horrible things, but still manages to keep a moral code of sorts and ultimately assigning to be the low-key hero of this story with his loyal and unselfish personality. So with all that, we might just have the best set of characters in this franchise in a long time. I am gonna say one bit about the human characters that was given to us though. One of the actors confirms some, or maybe even all, I doubt that, some of the main characters, not just the villains, are going to die. And I feel like that's something we haven't seen since kinda Jurassic World, which was 10 years ago by the way, if you want to feel old. Apparently there was never a draft of this movie where everyone survived. And to me, that makes this movie instantly more interesting. At this point, I'm kinda getting excited to see more about Jurassic World Rebirth. Let me know how you feel. If you like this video, consider sharing it around. I'll see you in the next one.